Welcome to Vacation Pro. Today, we invite you to join us on a journey across the Indian Ocean to one of the most fascinating destinations in the world, Zanzibar. This island is not simply a place to visit. It is a story that you step into. Imagine standing on a beach where the sand is as soft as powdered sugar beneath your feet. The sea before you glows in layers of turquoise, sapphire, and emerald. On the horizon, the silhouettes of traditional wooden boats, dhows with triangular sails, glide across the water, exactly as they have done for centuries. The air itself tells you something about this place. It carries the fragrance of cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, and pepper, the same spices that once made this small island a global trading powerhouse. Every wave, every street corner, every carved wooden door seems to whisper of a past filled with triumph and tragedy, empire and revolution, beauty and resilience. Zanzibar is not just paradise, it is history woven into paradise. And today, we will uncover its journey, from its beginnings as a crossroads of ancient trade to the vibrant travel destination it has become today. The story of Zanzibar begins with its geography. Situated just off the coast of East Africa, the island lies directly in the path of the monsoon winds that carried merchants across the Indian Ocean. To sailors traveling between Arabia, India, Persia, and China, Zanzibar was perfectly placed, a safe harbor, a rest stop, and eventually, a home. By the 10th century, this small island was bustling with activity. Traders arrived with their cargo, fine silks from India, beads and ceramics from Persia, porcelain from China. In exchange, they sought ivory, carved from the tusks of African elephants, gold mined in the continent's interior, and aromatic spices. But what made Zanzibar remarkable was not just the goods that changed hands. It was the blending of cultures. Many merchants stayed, marrying local women and bringing with them new languages, religions, and ideas. The result was something entirely unique: Swahili culture. Swahili was more than just a language. It was a way of life that combined African traditions with Arabic and Persian influences. You can hear it in the rhythm of Kiswahili, a language rich in poetry and song. You can see it in the architecture of Stone Town, where coral stone houses rise above narrow alleys, and in the intricate wooden doors decorated with geometric patterns and Arabic calligraphy. You can feel it in the cuisine, where African staples blend with Indian spices and Arabian flavors. Even today, Zanzibar's identity is shaped by this cultural mosaic. It became and remains a true meeting point of worlds. In the 17th century, Zanzibar entered a new era. Oman, a powerful Arab state, seized control of the island from the Portuguese, and later established it as the seat of the Omani Sultanate. With the Sultan's court moved here, Zanzibar transformed into the beating heart of an empire. The land was fertile, the climate warm, and the soil perfect for cultivation. The Sultan and his followers planted vast fields of cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon, and pepper. These crops thrived, and before long, the very air of Zanzibar was filled with their fragrance. Ships carried spices from the island to every corner of the globe, and Zanzibar earned its famous nickname, the Spice Island. But this golden age was not without shadows. The demand for labor to maintain the plantations was immense, and Zanzibar became one of the largest slave markets in East Africa. Tens of thousands of enslaved men, women, and children were brought here every year, marched in chains to Stone Town's market, sold and forced to work in fields or shipped across the ocean. The wealth of the island was built on both spice and suffering. Today, visitors can still walk through the old slave chambers, dim, cramped rooms where people were once held in chains. These sites serve as sobering reminders of the human cost of Zanzibar's prosperity. Yet, even in this complexity, Zanzibar's story deepened. The island became central not only to trade, but also to the cultural and political struggles of the region. By the late 19th century, European colonial powers began carving up Africa. The British, seeking control of the East African coast, declared Zanzibar a protectorate in 1890, but Zanzibar's entry into global headlines came 6 years later with a bizarre event: the Anglo-Zanzibar War. When the ruling sultan died, the British opposed his successor, but the Mus Sultan refused to step down. On the morning of August 27, 1896, British warships opened fire on the Sultan's palace. Cannon fire roared, smoke filled the skies, and within 38 minutes, it was over. The palace lay in ruins, and the Sultan's forces surrendered. It remains the shortest war in recorded history. British control ushered in schools, hospitals, and new infrastructure. But as with much of colonial Africa, these changes served foreign interests first, and locals lived within systems of inequality and subjugation. The island carried on, caught between tradition, empire, and the shifting politics of the world. The mid-20th century brought winds of change. Across Africa, independence movements were rising, and Zanzibar was no exception. In 1964, the island erupted in revolution. Centuries of inequality and the rule of a small elite fueled anger among the majority population. The Sultan was overthrown, and the revolution brought sweeping and often violent change. Just months later, Zanzibar merged with Tanganyika, forming the new nation of Tanzania. Yet Zanzibar retained something rare: autonomy. Even today, it has its own parliament, its own president, and its own flag, a reflection of its identity as both Tanzanian and uniquely Zanzibari. If Zanzibar is the storybook, Stone Town is its most vivid chapter. Designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Stone Town is like walking through time. The streets are narrow and winding, built not for cars but for the footsteps of merchants, children, and travelers. The houses, built from coral stone, are weathered but proud, their balconies stretching overhead. The carved wooden doors, heavy, ornate, and studded with brass, each carry history, with designs that mark the family origin, wealth, or religion. Here, the House of Wonders, once the Sultan's palace, stands as a monument to past grandeur. The old fort, with its thick stone walls, recalls the days of Omani power. Markets spill over with spices, fabrics, and jewelry, while the scent of street food, grilled meats, fried cassava, and Zanzibar pizza fills the air. Stone Town is not a relic. It is alive. Children play soccer in its alleys. Vendors call out to passers-by. The call to prayer rises above the rooftops, echoing across the harbor. It is history, yes, but it is also life unfolding in the present. For many travelers, Zanzibar's allure begins with its beaches. On the northern shores, Nungwi and Kendwa boast white sands and waters so clear that you can see the coral reefs from shore. As the sun sets, the horizon glows in orange and red, and dhow boats drift like silhouettes across the sea, a scene that feels timeless. Offshore, Menimba Atoll is a paradise for divers and snorkelers. Its reefs burst with color, schools of fish weaving between corals, dolphins leaping in the waves, and sea turtles gliding gracefully through the water. Inland, the Jozani forest offers something different. Tall mahogany trees tower overhead, while rare red colobus monkeys swing through the branches. Found only in Zanzibar, these monkeys are playful, curious, and a joy to watch. And then there is Prison Island, once used to confine enslaved people and later a quarantine station. Today it is home to giant Aldabra tortoises, some over a century old. Slow, ancient, and peaceful, they are living reminders of the passage of time. Zanzibar is also culture in motion. Festivals like the Zanzibar International Film Festival celebrate art and creativity, drawing visitors from around the world. Music fills the air, Tarab songs blending Arabic instruments with African rhythms. And the food, oh, the food, is an experience in itself. Spiced pilau rice, fresh seafood curries, sweet tropical fruits, and cups of spiced chai bring the island's history to your taste buds. Zanzibar is more than a destination. It is a story that continues to unfold. It is an island where geography created opportunity, where trade created culture, and where struggle created resilience. It is a place where the past is written in every stone alley of Stone Town, where spices still grow in the soil that once made empires rich, and where the beaches still glow in colors that no postcard could ever capture fully. For the traveler, Zanzibar is paradise, but it is also perspective. It is a chance to walk through history, to see how cultures can blend, and to discover how beauty and hardship can shape a place into something unforgettable. This is Zanzibar, where history meets paradise, and it is waiting for you.